5 of the 10 passengers are being treated for spinal and other injuries at the Georgetown Public Hospital, while 2 are being monitored for hypertension and 1 for a heart ailment. The passengers who sustained the spinal injuries were as a result of them getting off the aircraft using the chutes immediately after the aircraft skid off the runway. Giving an update at a press conference on the passengers' health was Chief Medical Officer Shamdir Prasad.
At this point, could not do everything, so we have 7 of them sent to Georgetown Hospital for further tests. There were a few persons also with problems with blood pressure. Because of the fact that the flight left here, they had checked in sometime about 9. Many of the diabetics, so there were 7 other persons who were seen here at the airport and attended to by the port health officers. Their medication, some of them were left on the aircraft because in the evacuation process they weren't allowed to bring out their carry-on, in which some of them had their medication. We did supply them with their medication. We are still trying to source some medication for one person who has a heart condition that we are currently about to have delivered to her in Diamond. There are 2 patients still at Diamond Hospital under observation, and so far there weren't any direct injuries associated with the deplaning, and at this point nothing life-threatening. However, we still will look for the results of especially the persons with the cervical and spine injury. And you understand this is these are some of the expected kinds of injuries when you use a slide to get off of the airplane.
He nevertheless stated that injuries are not life-threatening. The incident, according to information received, occurred at about 2 hours 50 after the pilot encountered difficulties more than 40 minutes into the flight.
Flight Jamaica departed this morning at 2 hours 10 past 2, and made an emergency landing at 2:53 p.m. There were, of course, as I said before, there were 120 passengers, 118 adults, 2 infants, 8 crew members, 6 of the cabin crew were all Guyanese. The flight crew were 2 Jamaican pilots. Everyone I want to restate has been accounted for.
The relatives of the passengers have been notified of the incident, and all arrangements are being made for most of them to be transported to their homes or hotels. Some of the passengers will, however, leave Guyana via Caribbean Airlines beginning tomorrow.
The passengers were all taken to a holding facility here at the Cjia International Airport. They have made provisions for the passengers to be transported to their respective private homes or to hotels. We were advised just before this press conference that a few of the passengers will be transported via CAL from tomorrow.
Nevertheless, an investigation has been launched into the cause of the accident, with emphasis being placed on the cockpit voice recorder and the flight data recorder known as the pink and black boxes.
The 2 items which are very important to this investigation, which are the flight data recorder and the cockpit voice recorder, have been secured and will be sent off to the NTSB shortly for decoding.
A representative from the NBTS is expected to arrive in Guyana shortly to join the investigative team led by Paula McAdam, with the assistance of members of the Guyana Civil Aviation Authority. In an emergency such as this, the effectiveness of the emergency response plan is questioned, but according to the Chief Executive Officer of the airport, Cjia, the plan was well executed.
Our initial feedback was that the response was in accordance to our emergency response plan, which would have meant that once alerted to the possibility of there's an emergency, the control tower would have informed the airport duty officer and the fire service. They would have responded initially. So our feedback is that the fire service would have responded orally. They were forced on site, and then the cascade of the alerting all the other players came into effect.
In addition, the aircraft is protected by members of the joint services. Bisha Mohammed, The Evening News.